Good evening, everyone. I welcome you all to Unacademy, the India's largest e-learning platform. I welcome you all to Gate Conqueror channel. We are into analog communication subject, concepts through questions. Analog communications, concepts through questions, part 3. We completed 2 parts in the previous 2 days. We completed 35 beautiful questions along with the concepts. In this particular session, we'll start with question number 36, and just below me, there are some very interesting questions today also. So our series concepts through questions. Subject analog communications. As we know, this series is intended to explain the concepts while solving the questions. We completed 35 questions. We are into question number 36. So let me read out the question for you. In an AM system, very interesting question. In an AM system, using square law modulator, before we move further, yes. Before we move further, just let me confirm the video and audio. Just confirm the video and audio once, dear. Yes, perfect, right. Okay, so before we move further into the question, please like the session, share the session among the maximum, and if you are new subscriber, please subscribe the Gate Conqueror channel, because here you are going to learn some very important questions. These are not previous year questions, remind you, I just want to remind you, these are not previous year questions. These are self-designed questions by me, all conceptual questions, very, very important for any examination, including GATE. So let me read out the question for you. In an AM system, using square law modulator, the input to NLS nonlinear system is the sum of message and carrier signal. Now, if you want to answer this question, then you must know something about square law modulator, otherwise you cannot answer. These are conceptual questions. Here, the student's concept will be tested through these kind of questions. Now, what is a square law modulator? Square law modulator. Square law modulator is one of the AM generation technique. AM generation techniques are switching modulator and square law modulator. Out of switching modulator suffers from transients. Square law modulator is widely used modulator for AM generation, amplitude modulation generation, or double sideband full carrier generation. What is a square law modulator? You try to apply the message signal and the carrier signal C of t to add the sum of which is V in, which is M of t plus C of t. This signal is given to a NLS nonlinear system. The output of NLS V out is in the form of A V in plus B V in square. A V in plus B V in square. And that output of NLS is fed to the band pass filter. Output of this band pass filter is your AM signal. Now, if you see here, the response of NLS is A times of V in plus B times of V in square, where V in is M of t plus C of t. m of t plus c of t. Okay. So now what we do is, if you substitute this v in value here and solve it, we will get, please solve it, okay, please solve it, please solve that equation. You will get s of t is equal to, and when I pass it through the band pass filter, we get s of t is equal to AC into 1 plus Ka m of t of cos 2 pi fct, of cos 2 pi fct, where C of t carrier signal is AC cos 2 pi fct. Therefore, the output of square law modulator is the AM output. S of t is the time domain equation of the AM signal. Now, if you look at the question, in a square law modulator, the input to the NLS, is sum of m of t and c of t, is sum of m of t and c of t. Now you see the question here. In an AM system using square law modulator, the input to NLS is the sum of message signal and carrier signal. Is the sum of message signal and carrier signal. Is the sum of message signal and carrier signal. Is it true? Yes. Now you tell me, if you don't know what is a square law modulator, this question is gone. It's a very simple question, but you don't know. You don't know anything about square law modulator. Can you attempt this question? No. I'm right. So without having the knowledge of a square law modulator, this question cannot be attempted. That's why it's called a conceptual question, where you need some concepts to solve these kind of questions. So the first statement, very simple. If you know the block diagram of square law modulator, it's enough. You can conclude that it is true. Using square law modulator and AM modulator, using square law modulator, the output of NLS, the output of nonlinear system, is fed to the band pass filter. Now you see the output. Now you see the output. The output of NLS is fed to the band pass filter. True. True, true, true. So once you know the block diagram, you can also conclude that second option is also true. Third one, using square law modulator, not demodulator, modulator, the output of NLS is fed to low pass filter. Now if your concept is weak, you can do wrong here. Why? Why you can do wrong? Because if you know a square law demodulator, this is square law modulator. If you know square law demodulator, in a square law demodulator, the A modulated signal is given to a NLS, nonlinear system, and the output of which is fed to a low pass filter. The output of which is fed to a low pass filter. Now here the output of NLS is fed to a low pass filter, but what is this? This is square law demodulator, which is basic AM demodulation technique. AM modulation, listen here, AM modulation can be done by switching modulator and square law modulator AM demodulation can be done by AM demodulation can be done by square law demodulator envelope detector and a synchronous detector. And a synchronous detector. These are AM modulation techniques, these are AM demodulation techniques. Let us go back to the question now again. Using, in an AM system, using square law modulator, the input to NLS is the sum of message and carrier signal, correct? Using square law modulator, the output of NLS is fed to band pass filter, correct? Using square law modulator, the output of NLS is fed to low pass filter, wrong. Using square law modulator, the input to NLS is the difference of message and carrier signal. No, it is not different, but it is sum, wrong. Option 1 and 2 are correct. Option 1 and 2 are correct. Option A is the answer. Therefore, option A is the answer. Is it clear? Just let me know. Is that clear? Yes, students, please confirm the video and audio once. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, I think it is fine. Am I right? Fine. Now we'll go for the next question. Now we'll go for the next question. Question number 37. It's also a beautiful question. Beautiful question. Good concept. Try to attempt this question. As I told you, whenever you read a question, you stop the video. You stop the video after reading the question. Try to solve it by yourself. Then you play the video for the answer. Okay? Now, for proper demodulation of an AM signal, now we are into demodulation. As I told you, one of the demodulation technique is envelope detector. Envelope detector is one of the demodulation technique. For a proper demodulation using envelope detector, M of t plus DC, M of t plus DC must be positive, 0, negative, minus infinity. You should know some concept here. For example, you are having a message signal given like this, which is moving from minus 5 volt to plus 5 volt. You have a carrier signal given by this. Now, if you do AM modulation, if you employ some square law modulator and do modulation, the modulated output looks like this. The modulated output looks like this. Okay. Now, what is an envelope detector? The envelope detector is one which will detect the envelope of the modulated signal. So, what it will detect here? If you give it an envelope detector, the envelope detector will detect the envelope. So, what is the detected output? The detected output is this. Is M of t recovered? Tell me. No. M of t is not recovered. This is M of t, sinusoidal signal. What is recovered? The magnitude of M of t is recovered, but not the shape. But you know, in analog communication, the shape of the signal is very important to preserve the information. Information is varied because the shape is varied. The difficulty in analog communication is, you need, when you are demodulating the signal, you must preserve the shape of the signal. Shape of the signal contains information. It is not happening so. Now, this is the general scenario where I am not adding any DC. I had added nothing. DC is 0. In order to overcome this problem, I am adding a DC of 10 volt. Just like clamping circuit. Now, what happens to my message signal? Now, my message signal will be varying from, you add 10 to it, that will be varying from 15 volt to 5 volt. 15 volt to 5 volt. What is your modulated signal looks like? Your modulated signal is under modulated signal, looks like this. Under modulated signal looks like this. This is Vmax and this is Vmin. That is Vmax and this is Vmin. Now if you calculate mu, now what happens here you see. Just see here what happens. Now here, what is Vmax? Vmax is 5 volt. What is Vmin? Vmin is minus 5 volt. Now what is mu value? Already we have discussed about mu, right? What is mu value? How to calculate? How to calculate the mu value? S of t is equal to the modulated signal. S of t is equal to AC into 1 plus Ka m of t into cos 2 pi fct. This is the time domain equation of an AM signal. If you are going for single tone modulation, in single tone modulation, m of t is equal to AM cos 2 pi fmt. Substitute, what do you get? Listen carefully here, this is all concept. AC into 1 plus Ka AM cos 2 pi fmt into cos 2 pi fct. This is S of t is equal to AC into 1 plus, what is Ka into AM? Ka into AM I already explained in part 2. Ka into AM is mu. Here mu is equal to Ka into AM. Substituting 1 plus mu cos 2 pi fmt into cos 2 pi fct. Now if cos 2 pi fmt value, if this value is 1, you get maximum amplitude. What is the maximum amplitude? Vmax. Maximum amplitude Vmax is AC into 1 plus mu. If this value is minus 1, you get minimum value. So what is minimum value? Vmin is equal to AC into 1 minus mu. This is AC plus AC mu. This is AC minus AC mu. Now if you do Vmax plus Vmin, Vmax plus Vmin, if you add this both, AC mu get cancelled, you get 2 AC. From this the formula for AC is Vmax plus Vmin by 2. If you subtract them, then you get Vmax minus Vmin is 2 AC mu. From this equation we know 2 AC is Vmax plus Vmin. Substitute. Therefore mu is Vmax minus Vmin by Vmax plus Vmin. Pure concept. Pure concept. Don't by add formulas, okay? Okay. We'll check once, okay? Now this is the formula. AC is Vmax plus Vmin by 2. Mu is Vmax minus Vmin by Vmax plus Vmin. This is all I derived. Now you can use it very easy. Now in this case, if you apply mu now, mu is, as just now we have derived, Vmax minus Vmin by Vmax plus Vmin. This is 5 minus of -5. Let me take here for understanding, because you get a larger value. Of course, no problem. If you take exact replica, you get 10 by 0 infinity. Greater than 1. It is greater than 1. It is greater than 1. For all the values of mu greater than 1, envelope detector will not work. When does envelope detector will work? Envelope detector can only detect the signal when the modulation index mu is less than or equal to 1. Why I am getting greater than 1? You got infinity here. Why you are getting greater than 1? Because V min is negative. For suppose, let V min is moving from 5 volt, here V min is minus 4 volt, just for calculation, okay? Now what happens here? V max minus V min, 9 by V max plus V min, 1. Mu is 9. Mu is 9. Mu is 9. Mu is greater than 1. Again mu is greater than 1. That means what? The envelope detector cannot demodulate the signal. Now let it make it minus 3 volt. Minus 3 is 8 by 1. 8 by 2. 4. Mu is 4. Mu is greater than 1. It cannot demodulate. You let me make it minus 2. If you make it minus 2, 5 minus 2 to 5. Okay. So 5, this is 5 minus of minus 2. That is 7 by 3. It is greater than 1. Demodulation is not possible. If it is minus 1, 6. 5 minus of minus 1, 6 by V max plus V min, 6 by 4. It is greater than 1. Demodulation is not possible. V min is 0. V min is 0. Now what happens? V max minus V min by V max plus V min. It is V max by V min. U is 1. Now modulation is possible. When modulation is possible, modulation or the demodulation with envelope detector is possible when V min is 0. By the time, all the time when V min was negative, demodulation was not possible. Demodulation was not possible. V min must be 0. Then mu is 1. Demodulation is possible by envelope detector. Now let V min is plus 1. V min is plus 1. 5 and plus 1. Now what happens? 5 minus 1, 4. This is 5 minus 1, 4 by 5 plus 1, 6. Less than 1. Now suddenly it became less than 1. Yes, modulation is possible. Demodulation is possible because V min is positive. Got the concept? Got the concept? Now, what I had done is here, I added 10 volt DC. When I added 10 volt DC, the value went from 15, 5 to 15. V max is 15, V max is 15, V min is 5. Now you calculate mu. In the diagram, we got V max is 15, V min is 5. In this case, mu is V max minus V min, 10 by V max plus V min, 1 by 2, 0.5. Demodulation using envelope detector is possible. Now you may ask me why. Why it is possible, sir? What happened? Now you see. Let me draw this diagram. This is V max 15. This is V min 5. This is the undermodulated signal. Mu is less than or equal to 1. Now when the demodulation happens, the envelope detector will detect the envelope. Signal is recovered. Signal is recovered. As simple as that. Up to which point you can recover this? Up to V min is 0, you can recover this. What is V min is 0? Perfect modulation. Modulated signal. V min is 0. Mu is 1. V min is 0 means mu is V max minus V min by V max plus V min. V min is 0 means mu is 1. Perfect modulation. In perfect modulation, what happens now? The demodulated signal recovered. So the shape of the signal can be preserved until and unless you make V min positive. So that is the reason. Now if you see this question, for proper demodulation of AM signal using envelope detector, M of t plus DC, the DC added, must be always positive or at least 0. The sum of them must be at least 0 point at some point. If it goes negative, then it cannot demodulate. Got it? So for proper demodulation, very rare concept here, very in-depth concept. So many students learn formulas, but they don't know why it is. I am here explaining why it is. Okay. So for proper demodulation of AM signal using envelope detector, M of t plus DC must be either positive or 0. If it is negative or minus infinity, you cannot demodulate. Therefore 1 and 2, option A is the answer. Question number 37, option A is the answer. Clear? One more very beautiful question here. Beautiful question based on a given concept. Okay? Now, you go for the next question. This is also again one more beautiful concept. These are all concept oriented questions here. By the time you learn these questions, you learn lot of concepts. That's my guarantee. Okay? And you can't find these questions anywhere. These are all questions designed by me. My patented. Okay? So now, in a synchronous detector, quadrature null effect occurs when the phase difference between local oscillator of transmitter and receiver is. First and foremost, if you want to understand about this, you should know what is a synchronous detector. Am I right? Synchronous detector can be used as a AM demodulator. Let me draw synchronous detector, which is an AM demodulator. The input to the synchronous detector is S of t, modulated signal, given to multiplier multiplied by C of t, carrier signal, which is AC cos 2 pi FCT, given to low pass filter. Then the output of it is the recovered message signal. This is a simple synchronous detector. Now let me analyze this. Input signal S of t is the modulated AM signal. S of t is given by AC into 1 plus Ka M of t cos 2 pi FCD multiplied by AC cos 2 pi FCD. When you multiply this, you get AC square, okay, AC square into 1 plus Ka M of t cos square 2 pi FCD. Cos square 2 pi FCT. This is AC square into 1 plus Ka M of t cos square 2 pi FCT is 1 plus cos 2 theta, 1 plus cos 4 pi FCT by 2. By 2. This is AC square by 2 into 1 plus Ka M of t AC square by 2 into 1 plus Ka into M of t plus AC square by 2 into 1 plus Ka M of t into cos 4 pi FCT. The second term is a high frequency term. The second term is a high frequency term. Therefore, when I pass it through low pass filter, this is neglected. That is gone. Now what is left out? AC square by 2 into 1 plus Ka m of t. This is AC square by 2 plus AC square by 2 into Ka into m of t. Ka is the amplitude sensitivity of the modulator. Now this is DC component. This can be easily removed by employing a capacitor. So what is the output now? AC square by 2 Ka into m of t. The output here is, the output of synchronous detector is AC square by 2 into Ka into m of t. Now you tell me, the message signal is recovered or not? Very clearly the message signal is recovered with amplitude AC square by 2 into Ka. With amplitude AC square by 2 into Ka, the message signal is recovered properly. Got it? Now you read the question. In a synchronous detector, quadrature null effect occurs when the phase difference between local oscillator of transmitter and receiver is dash degrees. To understand this, you need two things. First, you should know what is the basic operation of a synchronous detector that I explained now. You should know what is quadrature null effect. Then you can answer this easily. What is quadrature null effect? Quadrature null effect is a concept where the output will become 0. When the output will become 0? Now, I am trying to consider some phase shift. It is not 2 pi FCT, but it is 2 pi FCT plus phi, where phi is the phase shift between local oscillator of transmitter and receiver. Where phi is the phase shift between the local oscillator of transmitter and receiver. Now you do this again. Now what happens? You see. Listen carefully, dear. Listen carefully. Very, very important concept. Okay. Now synchronous detector with the phase shift. S of t is the modulated signal multiplier multiplied by the carrier signal AC cos of 2 pi FCT plus phi given to low pass filter. Then you get the output. Same procedure, do it again. Now what do you get? Tell me. Now what you'll get? Tell me. S of t is AC into 1 plus Ka m of t cos 2 pi FCT multiplied by AC into AC square cos 2 pi FCT plus phi. This is AC square into 1 plus Ka m of t. These are the form 2 cos A cos B. Cos of A plus B plus cos of A minus B. 2 is not there, so multiply and divide by 2. AC square by 2 into 1 plus Ka m of t. 2 cos A cos B. Cos of A plus B 4 pi FCT plus phi plus A minus B plus cos phi. Now I pass this through the low pass filter. The high frequency component is vanished, gone. So what is left out? AC square by 2 into 1 plus Ka m of t into cos phi. AC square by 2 into cos phi, some value you will get based on the phase shift value. This value will be a DC component. AC square by 2 Ka m of t cos phi. This is DC component, can be easily removed by using a capacitor. Gone. So what is the output now? In the presence of phase shift, the output of synchronous detector is AC square by 2 m of t into cos phi. AC square by 2 Ka m of t into cos phi. See here. Did you got the same answer or not? Same answer, but now cos phi is multiplied. Previously also there is cos phi. Previously also cos phi, but it is invisible. Why invisible? Phi is the phase shift between transmitter and receiver. In the previous case, I assumed that there is no phase shift or there is no phase difference. In the previous case, I assumed that there is no phase difference. Phase difference is 0. If phase difference is 0, cos 0 is 1. That's why into 1 it is. When you consider phase difference, you will get the value into cos phi. Now the message signal is recovered. Am I right? Now I'll do 2 case studies. 1. When phi is 0, what happens? When phi is 0, the output will become AC square by 2 into Ka into m of t. This is no problem. Message signal is recovered properly because they are synchronous. Phase shift or phase difference is 0. When phase difference is 90 degrees, now what happens? Cos 90 is 0, the recovered output is 0. Message signal cannot be recovered at all. When the phase difference between the transmitter and receiver is 90 degrees, message signal cannot be recovered. Message signal cannot be recovered. What you got output? You got the output as 0, null. When the phase shift is 90, quadrature. This effect is called quadrature null effect. QNE. Now you tell me, what is QNE? QNE is a concept where the output signal will become 0 when the phase difference between the local oscillator, between transmitter and receiver is 90 degrees. This is pure concept. Okay. Now what is there in this question? Very simple now. After studying so much of concept, the answer is very simple. I am right. In a synchronous detector, quadrature null effect occurs when the phase difference between local oscillator and the local oscillator of transmitter and receiver is dash degrees. 90 degrees. 90 degrees. 90 degrees. When phi is 90 degrees, you get quadrature null effect. As simple as that. Done. 3 questions, I explained 3 beautiful concepts. Am I right? Fine. Now, next question. Similar concept, very closely related to the previous concept. Just try to understand carefully. For what value of phase difference? For what value of phase difference between local oscillators of transmitter and receiver, signal to noise ratio will become half. Just now you had seen, if you have a synchronous detector with you, the output of synchronous detector is AC square by 2 Ka m of t. When the phase difference is 0, when the phase difference is 90, you get quadrature null effect. The general output is into cos phi, where phi is the phase difference between transmitter and receiver. The recovered output here is the voltage, message signal voltage. But now he is asking, what is the effect on signal to noise ratio? Signal to noise ratio refers to signal power to noise power. It is in terms of power. How power and voltage are related? Power is voltage square. So if voltage is changing by cos phi, power will change by what? Cos square phi. So the new value, when phi is considered, the new value of Sn is signal to noise ratio. New value is, the new value of signal to noise ratio is old value of signal to noise ratio into cos square phi. Got it? Why cos square phi? Why not cos phi? Because cos phi here is for voltage. Signal to noise ratio refers to signal power to noise power. Here the quantities are in terms of power. So you need to square it. Now he is saying, for what value of phi, for what value of this phi, the value of signal to noise ratio will become half. For what value of this phi, the value of signal to noise ratio will become half. Substitute. For what value it will become phi, for what value of phi it will become half. Very simple. Phi is 45 degrees. Cos 45, 1 by root 2 whole square, 1 by 2. The new signal to noise ratio will become half of the old signal to noise ratio when the value of phi is 45 degrees. Therefore, option B is the answer. Therefore, option B is the answer. Is it clear? Now, one more beautiful concept done. Am I right? Next question. Now we are moving into DSBSC, double sideband suppressed carrier. Now let me differentiate between AM and DSBSC. Okay? AM and DSBSC. AM, amplitude modulation, also called as double sideband full carrier. This is DSBSC, or simply called as DSB, double sideband, a double sideband suppressed carrier. In AM, what we send is, in AM we send the carrier signal and we send two sidebands, namely the upper sideband and lower sideband. In DSB, there won't be any carrier, only two sidebands will send. Will send only two sidebands. USB, upper sideband, and lower sideband. Upper sideband and lower sideband. Okay. Only these two things will send. Now if you see, let me explain in detail, okay? Let me explain in detail. If you see the AM signal, AM signal is given by, the time domain equation of AM signal is given by S of t is equal to AC into 1 plus mu times cos 2 pi FMT into cos 2 pi FCT. Up to this I explained. Just before I explained up to this point, I don't want to repeat it. Okay, this is the time domain equation. Now if you try to expand it, S of t is equal to AC cos 2 pi FCT plus AC mu times cos 2 pi FCT into cos 2 pi FMT. These are the form 2 cos A cos B, multiply and divide by 2. Cos of A plus B plus cos of A minus B. S of t is equal to AC cos 2 pi FCT plus AC mu by 2, 2 cos A cos B, cos of A plus B, cos of 2 pi FC plus FM into T plus cos of 2 pi FC minus FM into T. Cos of, listen carefully here, listen carefully. Concept should be learned in a hard way. Problem should be done in easy way. Remember, any concept if you learn, it should be learned in a hard way so that it will be with you for a long time. Every problem you should try to solve in easy way so that the time is conserved. Okay? Now, if you try to draw the spectrum of this, the spectrum of this looks like this. At FC, you have a carrier frequency with amplitude AC by 2. Amplitude will go off and there will be shifting on either side. That is modulation property. Okay. So at minus FC also you will have the carrier signal with amplitude AC by 2. FC plus FM. What is this FC plus FM? FC plus FM, upper sideband. FC minus FM, lower sideband. Now what do you get? FC plus FM. At FC plus FM you get upper sideband. How much is amplitude? Half of this. AC mu by 4. AC mu by 4. One more image. Minus FC minus FM. Minus FC minus FM. Amplitude AC mu by 4. Next, lower side band. At FC minus FM. At FC minus FM. Lower side band. Amplitude AC mu by 4. Its image. Minus FC plus FM. Minus of it. Minus FC plus FM. AC mu by 4. Beautiful. Spectrum of AM. Spectrum of AM. Carrier signal, upper side band and lower side band. We send one carrier signal, one upper side band, one lower side band in AM signal. What is the bandwidth? Upper side band minus lower side band is the bandwidth. How much it is? FC plus FM minus of FC minus FM. This is bandwidth is 2 times of FM. That's the reason why AM bandwidth is 2 FM. AM bandwidth is 2 FM. Now the conclusion. This is the time domain equation. This is the spectrum. Final conclusion is for AM, the spectrum looks like this. 0 at FC, FC plus FM, FC plus FM, okay, FC minus FM, bandwidth 2 FM, amplitude here AC mu by 4, here AC mu by 4. The image minus FC minus FC minus FM minus FC plus FM. Of course with same amplitudes. AC by 2, AC mu by 4, AC mu by 4. Bandwidth 2 times of FM. Now if you go for DSB-SC, what happens in DSB-SC? Carrier will be completely suppressed. To understand this, what I should do? S of t is equal to AC into 1 plus Ka M of t into cos 2 pi FCT. Into cos 2 pi FCT. If you expand this, this is AC cos 2 pi FCT plus AC Ka M of t cos 2 pi FCT. In DSB-SC, what happens? In DSB-SC, carrier signal is completely suppressed. What is this here? This is carrier signal. This is a modulated signal. In DSB-SC, carrier signal is completely suppressed and Ka is made equal to 1. Therefore, the time domain equation for DSB-SC is S of t is equal to AC M of t cos 2 pi FCT. Cos 2 pi FCT. Now, this is simply nothing but M of t into C of t. M of t into C of t. If M of t is a message signal, the Fourier transform of message signal is M of f. This is given 0, Fm minus Fm. This is the spectrum of M of t. When this M of t is multiplied by C of t, or M of t is multiplied by AC cos 2 pi FCT, shifting property will happen. Then this will be shifted to FC and minus FC. The same thing is shifted to FC and minus FC. Same thing is shifted to FC and minus FC. This is at FC, this is at minus FC. What we have without carrier signal, upper side band, lower side band, without carrier signal. That's what happens in DSB-SC, suppressed carrier. So if you try to understand this and draw it at a given place, if you draw the spectrum of DSB-SC, 0, no carrier signal. Suppressed carrier, upper sideband. FC plus FM with same amplitude, AC mu by 4. Lower sideband at FC minus FM with same amplitude, AC mu by 4. Of course, the image signal minus FC, sorry, carrier is absent. Sideband minus FC plus FM minus FC minus FM. Now you compare, you get a beautiful understanding. Both are at a given place now. Now what is the bandwidth of DSB-SC? Same again. No change here. Bandwidth is again 2 times of FM. Therefore the conclusion is AM and DSB-SC have same bandwidth. AM and DSB-SC have same bandwidth. What is the difference? The difference is in the power. Carrier signal is completely suppressed. Got it? Is that clear? Fine. Now if you see here, in a DSB-SC, what happens? You know, total power is carrier power plus sideband power. In DSB-SC, as I explained right now, that carrier signal is completely suppressed. Therefore, in DSB-SC, total power is equal to sideband power. Total power is equal to sideband power. Therefore, in DSB-SC, first thing, total power is equal to sideband power. First option, total power is equal to sideband power. Either B or C is the answer. Eta, modulation efficiency, is the ratio of sideband power to total power. In DSB-SC, sideband power and total power both are same. Therefore, eta is 1, efficiency is 100%. Eta is 1. Out of this, only this fellow is having 1, option C is the answer, done. But for our practice, we will continue the question. But in examination, your answer is done. Because by elimination method, we can eliminate all the other options now. Total power is sideband power, eta is 1, done. Now, Ka, as I already told you, just now I told you, in DSB-SC, amplitude sensitivity of the modulator, Ka is 1. Mu, you know mu is equal to Ka into Am. Ka is 1. Therefore, for DSB-SC, mu is equal to Am. For DSB-SC, mu is equal to Am. Mu is equal to Am. Option C is the answer. Got it? Very good question. This is also a very good question. Here we take lot of time to explain a concept. But on that concept, you can do 10 questions. If you learn one concept, you will be more confident. Try to learn concept, not number of questions. Number of questions is for practice sake, but without concept, you do 1000 number of questions, it's all waste. Okay? Fine. Next. Very simple one. Because we learned the concept now, it is very simple. Please pause the video. Please pause the video. Try to find the answer, then come back. Okay? Okay, dear. In a DSB-SC, find total power and lower sideband power. You know, In DSB-SC, total power is equal to sideband power, which is upper sideband power plus lower sideband power. If you want to find power, you need spectrum. Spectrum is already ready. Spectrum is ready with you. Now I want the upper sideband power. Amplitude is AC mu by 4. Amplitude is AC mu by 4. Okay, this is the spectrum you are taking. Now what is the time domain equation? If you go for the time domain equation, this is the time domain equation. Carrier is completely suppressed. Amplitude is AC mu by 2. Amplitude is AC mu by 2. Therefore, if you want power, AC mu by 2. Power is V RMS square by R. V RMS square is Vm by root 2 whole square by R. This is Vm square by 2R. Therefore, power in upper sideband is Vm square by 2R. What is Vm? What is Vm maximum amplitude? You should see in the time domain equation AC mu by 2. AC mu by 2. AC mu by 2 whole square by 2R. AC square mu square by 4 into 2, 8R. But you know, in DSB-SC, mu is equal to AM. Replace. Therefore, upper sideband power is AC square AM square by 8R. Upper sideband power is AC square AM square by 8R. Go through the procedure very carefully, dear everyone. Everyone go through the procedure very carefully. Power is V RMS square by R. V RMS is Vm by root 2 whole square by R. That is Vm square by 2R. From time domain equation, Vm is AC mu by 2. Substituting, upper sideband power is AC square AM square by 8R. Similarly, lower sideband power also will be the same. Which is equal to lower sideband power. Then total power, which is equal to sideband power, is upper sideband power plus lower sideband power will be equal to AC square AM square by 4R. Therefore, in a DSB system, total power which is equal to sideband power is AC square AM square by 4R. Sideband power, either lower sideband power or upper sideband power, is AC square AM square by 8R. Okay. Now go back to the question. In a DSB-SC, total power is sideband power, which is upper sideband power. Just now I derived AC square AM square by 8R. Now you see, once you have the spectrum, it is very easy. I'm right. Once you have the spectrum, it is very easy. AC square AM square by 8R plus AC square AM square by 8R. It is AC square AM square by 4R. Total power, which is equal to sideband power. And lower sideband power is half of this. AC square AM square by 8R. Therefore, total power is AC square AM square by 4R. Lower sideband power is AC square AM square by 8R. Option B is the answer. Got it? If you don't know the concept, it is a very difficult. It is a very difficult question. If you know the concept, you can do it in 5 seconds. Okay? Next question. Try to solve this question, dear. Next question, try to solve this. In a DSB-SC, a double sideband suppressed carrier with a message signal M of t is 4 cos 2 pi into 10 power 3t. Find bandwidth and total power if the carrier amplitude is 10 volt. Already we know, we had seen the spectrum, the bandwidth of AM and DSB-SC both are same. The bandwidth of AM and DSB-SC both are same, which is equal to 2 times of FM. Bandwidth is same, therefore bandwidth here is 2 times of FM, and from this equation highest modulating frequency FM is 1 kilohertz. Therefore bandwidth is 2 kilohertz. Bandwidth is 2 kilohertz. That means what? Option C or D is the answer. Now are you able to feel that? Once you understood a concept, once you learned a concept, these questions are nothing. The same questions without concept will look very, very difficult. So always believe in learning concepts through questions. Okay? Next. Find total power. In DSB-SC, total power is equal to sideband power. In DSB-SC, total power is equal to sideband power. Sideband power, just now we have derived AC square, AM square by 4R. R value is given? No. If R value is not given, R is 1 ohm. Substitute AC square 100, AM square 4 square 16 by 4 into R is not given 1. Therefore this is 400 watt. 400 watt. 400 watt. Option C is the answer. Option C is the answer. Got it? Clear? Very simple. Once you know the concept, it is very, very simple. Next. One more very beautiful conceptual question. Try to read the question, pause the video, solve it, and tell me the answer, okay? Number of AM modulators used in balanced modulator. Now, if you want to know about this, you should know balanced modulator. What is the balanced modulator? M of t, message signal, given to 180 degree phase shifter. The output of it is minus of M of t. Is given to one A modulator 1, fed by the carrier signal AC cos 2 pi FCD, given to one more A modulator, message signal minus of M of t, and the carrier signal AC cos 2 pi FCD. Let me take the amplitude A cos 2 pi FCD, given to subtractor at the output. This output is your DSB signal, and this diagram is a balanced modulator. Balanced modulator. Now you just imagine that you don't know what is balanced modulator. Then you cannot do this question. It's a very simple question, but you cannot do, because you should know what is balanced modulator there. Okay? Now M of t signal is given to AM, M of t is fed and C of t is fed to A modulator. So what is output 1? Output of A modulator 1. It's a modulated signal. What is a modulated signal? AC into 1 plus Ka M of t cos 2 pi FCD. Cos 2 pi FCD. This is A cos 2 pi FCD plus A Ka m of t cos 2 pi fct. Output of modulator 2 is same output, but now m of t is replaced by minus m of t. A cos 2 pi fct minus A Ka m of t cos 2 pi fct. Cos 2 pi fct. Now, this is at 1, this is at 2. Output is 1 minus 2. So, do 1 minus 2. What do you get? This thing will get cancelled. You get output as 2A Ka m of t cos 2 pi fct. 2A Ka is some amplitude AC. Therefore, this is AC m of t cos 2 pi fct. AC cos 2 pi fct into m of t. This is m of t into C of t. What is m of t into C of t? DSB output. DSB output, just now I told you, which is m of t into C of t. So what you are able to generate? You are able to generate m of t into C of t, DSB output, by using this modulator, which is called balanced modulator. This is called balanced modulator. Therefore, DSB-SC generation can be done by balanced modulator, as I explained just now, can be done by balanced modulator and what? Balanced modulator and what? And ring modulator. Balanced modulator and ring modulator. Balanced modulator diagram, just now we had seen. This is a balanced modulator. This is balanced modulator diagram. This is analysis of balanced modulator, and this is output, DSB output. Similarly, we can go for ring modulator. What is a ring modulator? In a ring modulator, primary of the transformer, where message signal m of t is fed, this center tap transformer, where C of t, carrier signal, which is a high frequency pulse train, rectangular pulse is applied here. It is fed to a ring modulator having diode D1, D2, here you get DSB output. Here you get DSB output. This is D3. And this is D4. The operation is very simple. For the positive cycle, you get plus and minus. Plus and minus means this will become off. Sorry, plus and minus means here plus and here minus means. For plus and minus over here, for plus and minus here, this is center tapping concept. So you apply the plus minus and minus plus over here, plus minus and minus plus over here. So for the center tapping concept, in the positive half cycle, you have plus and minus here. D1 and D2 will become on. M of t will reach as it is. M of t will reach as it is. For the second time, it will become minus and plus. D1 and D2 will become off, and you get the inverted signal minus M of t. And the output signal looks like this. First half in this way. Second half in this way. Third half in this way. Fourth half in this way. Fifth half in this way. Sixth half in this way. Seventh half in this way. Eighth half in this way. The message is recovered. That's a modulated signal. That's a modulated signal. Now, this is ring modulator. The functioning of a ring modulator. Now you see the question. Number of A modulators used in balanced modulator. Is not asking all that. I explained all this concept so that your concept will improve. I explained all this so that your concept will be improved and you learn the generation techniques of DSBSC, which are balanced modulator and ring modulator. Balanced modulator is more efficient when compared to ring modulator. Number of A modulators used in balanced modulator. 1, 2. 2 A modulators are used. Either B or C. Carrier signal used in balanced modulator. Sinusoid, high frequency sinusoid. Sinusoidal. Oh, sorry. What's the question here? Number of diodes used in ring modulator. Number of diodes used in ring modulator. D1, D2, D3, D4. 4. 4. Here also 4, here also 4. Carrier signal used in balanced modulator. Sinusoidal. Sinusoidal. Therefore, option C is the answer. You need not verify the fourth question. Fourth question, carrier signal used in ring modulator. High frequency pulse train, rectangular pulse. Therefore, option C is the answer. Therefore, option C is the answer. Okay? We use 2 number of A modulators in balanced modulator. We use 4 diodes in ring modulator. We use high frequency sinusoid in balanced modulator, and we use high frequency pulse train or rectangular pulse in ring modulator. Therefore, option C is the answer. Concept oriented question again. If you don't know about balanced modulator and ring modulator, you can't write this question. Clear? Now, next question. This is also one more beautiful concept. Today it's all about concepts. It's actually a very good session today because all the concepts are beautiful concepts today. In part 3, today in part 3, we are explaining all beautiful concepts. This is also one wonderful concept. Just try to do it. I'll read out the question for you and then just pause the video and play the video for solution, okay? And meanwhile, you try to solve it, okay? A DSBSC system using synchronous detector has a signal to noise ratio of 100. If the phase shift between the local oscillators of transmitter and receiver is 60 degrees, already I explained you about this concept, am I right? So if the phase shift between the transmitter and receiver, that is 5, is 60 degrees, is asking find SNR value and find SNR in decibel. Find SNR value and find SNR value in decibel. Next, when phi is 45 degrees, find SNR value and SNR in decibel. Find it. Please pause the video and try to find it. I'll tell you a super shortcut here. I'll tell you a super shortcut in this question, okay? Try to solve. Try to solve this. I'm going to explain a super shortcut for you, okay? So what is the formula? SNR neve is equal to SNR volt into cos square phi. This is the formula. What is SNR volt given? Old value of SNR is 100. I want to find the new value when phase shift is there. As you know, voltage changes at the rate of cos phi. Voltage changes as cos phi. SNR changes as cos square phi. Already I explained you this concept in this session only, okay? So, SNR new is SNR old 100 into cos square phi. Phi is 60, cos 60 1 by 2. Cos square phi 1 by 4. Answer is 25. Answer is 25. 25. Now calculate in decibel. Calculate in decibel means SNR in decibel. 10 log 25 to base 10. This will be 14 dB. Please calculate. Please calculate. Okay. Please calculate. It will be 14 dB. 25 and 14 dB. 25 and 14 dB. Only one option is having 25 and 14 dB. Here it is 25, but it is 17 dB. Only one option, 25, 14 dB. You need not solve the second question. Option B is the answer. Done. Now, what is the beautiful concept here? Very simple, no? I'll tell you. Wait. I'll tell you a beautiful, mind-blowing concept here. Just wait. Okay. Now, let us solve the second one also, so that we will understand the concept. Phi is 45 degrees. Now solve it. SNR new is SNR old 100 into cos square 5. Phi is 45 degrees. Cos 45 1 by 2. Cos square 45 1 by 2. 100 into 1 by 2. This you get it as 50. You got the value as 50. Convert in decibel. 10 log 50 to base 10. 17 dB. 50 and 17 dB done. What is the concept here? Then what is the concept here? The concept is, now if you don't have calci with you, how do you do this? If you have calci, 10 log 25 to base 10, you will get the answer. But if you don't have calci, how you will do this? How do you solve this question if you don't have a calci? That I'll explain. Okay? Because even like exams like ISRO, you don't have calci. Question is very important question. These kind of questions can appear. But you don't have calci. How do you solve this? Got this? Now I'll tell you. Now I'll tell you. See here. Now I'll tell you the concept. Listen carefully. Now, let me take the value of power as 10 watt. Let me take the value of power as 10 watt. Calculate power in decibel. 10 log 10 to base 10. It is 10 dB. It is 10 dB. Okay? The power is 10 dB. Okay? Now, take power as 20 watt. Calculate everyone. Power in decibel. 10 log 20 to base 10. 13 dB. Please calculate. Calculate. Okay? Please calculate. Now, power is 40 watt. Power in decibel. 10 log 40 to base 10, 16 dB. Power is 80 watt. Power in decibel. 10 log 80 to base 10, 19 dB. Power is 160 watt. Power in decibel. 10 log 160 to base 10, 22 dB. Now you may getting already are getting confused. What actually I am trying to do? Am I right? Now you get the clarity. Wait. Power is 100 watt. Power in decibel. 10 log 100 to base 10. 100 is 10 square. So this will be exactly 20 dB. Now you see the analysis. When power went from 10 to 20, means multiplied 2 times. When power got multiplied 2 times, when power got doubled, how much decibel improvement it got? Plus 3 dB. Plus 3 dB improvement it got. Okay. Now, when power went from 20 to 40, 2 times multiplied, how much decibel improvement it got? Plus 3 dB. Power got from 40 to 80, 2 times multiplied. How much improvement you got? Plus 3 dB. Power got multiplied from 80 to 160, 2 times multiplied. How much improvement you got? 3 dB. What is the conclusion? Every time you got a 3 dB improvement, power will become double. For every 3 dB increase, the power will become double. Got it? Is it not a beautiful concept? For every 3 dB, the power gets doubled. Okay? Now, if you see here, the power became half by 2. How many decibel decrement you got? 22 to 19 minus 3 dB. Similarly here by 2, here by 2, here by 2, decrement minus 3 dB, minus 3 dB, minus 3 dB. That means what? For every time the power will get half, you get 3 dB decrement. Minus 3 dB means the power will become half. Second conclusion. One more important conclusion. When you see here, when power is 100 watt, you got 20 dB. How many decibel improvement? Plus 10 dB. For every plus 10 dB, the power, how many times it got multiplied? 10 times. It got multiplied 10 times. So what is the conclusion? For every plus 10 dB, the power multiplies by 10 times. Similarly, minus 10 dB, reverse way. The power will divide by 10. Minus 10 dB. That means if you take this as reference and go there, 100 became 10, 1 by 10. So for every 10 dB improvement, the power multiplies by 10. For every 10 dB improvement, the power multiplies by 10. For every 10 dB decrement, the power is divided by 10. Now you see, one more important conclusion I will give. If power is 1 watt, what is power in decibel? 10 log 1 to base 10, 0 dB. 0 dB. Now, from 1 to 100, it has got multiplied by 100 times. How many decibel improvement? Plus 20 dB improvement. So what is the conclusion? The conclusion is for plus 20 dB, the power multiplies by 100. Similarly, minus 20 dB, you multiply, or you subtract minus 20 dB. You subtract minus 20 dB, the power will divide by 100. Got it? Similarly, this process will continue. For plus 30 dB, the power multiplies by 1000. Minus 30 dB, the power divides by 1000. plus 40 dB, the power multiplies by 10,000, minus 40 dB, the power divides by 10,000, it goes on. That's the concept. Okay. Now if you know this concept, you can do this question without any calculation. Why? SNR is 100. SNR is 100. Calculate in decibel. SNR in decibel is 10 log 100 to base 10, 20 dB. Now if you see, SNR became 25. 25 means 1 by 4. For every 3 dB, it will become half. 1 by 4, 3 dB, 3 dB, total 6 dB down. It is initially 20 dB, 6 dB down, will become 14 dB, direct calculation. Here value is 50, 100, here it is 50, half. Half means minus 3 dB, 20 dB will become minus, 20 dB will become 20 minus 3, 17 dB, done. You need not calculate anything because 100 became 50, half, minus 3 dB. 100 became 25, 1 by 2 into 1 by 2, minus 3 plus minus 3, minus 6 dB, 20 minus 6, 14. Directly you can find the answer. Got it? Directly you can find the answer, okay? This is also one more beautiful concept here. We'll go for the next question. This is very simple one, simple question, you can do it easily, okay? Identify the true statements. Already I explained ring modulator, so you will do it. You do this in 5 seconds. Ring modulator uses center tap transformer. Ring modulator uses center tap transformer. True. Yes, it uses center tap transformer. Already I had shown you the diagram. Ring modulator uses 4 diodes, D1, D2, D3, D4. True. Carrier signal is sinusoidal. No. Carrier signal is rectangular pulse. Carrier signal is rectangular pulse. True. Which of them are true? 1, 2 and 4. 1, 2, 4. 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4. Option C is the answer. Already I explained you about ring modulator. You can do this within no time. Am I right? That was a very simple question. We'll go for the next question. Yes. This question you should do some calculations. Okay. In an AM system, remember I am talking about AM system. In an AM system with carrier amplitude of 10 volt, in an AM system with a carrier amplitude of 10 volt and radiated across 100 ohm antenna with modulation index 0.5, is asking calculate carrier power, sideband power, total power and efficiency. Very simple, am I right? We'll do it one by one. First, carrier power, AC square by 2R formula. AC square 100 by 2 into 100, 100 by 200, 1 by 2, 0.5 watt. 0.5 watt is the carrier power. A or B? Your answer must be A or B. Now, elimination method. What is elimination method? Once you decided that the answer is A or B, because you have calculated carrier power, next two options same, don't calculate. Next two same, don't calculate. Only this is differing. Efficiency, just calculate that, your answer is done. You will save a lot of time. In competitive exams, time is everything, as I told you. So, calculate efficiency directly. What is efficiency? Mu square by 2 plus mu square. 1 by 2 whole square, 1 by 4, 0.25 by 2.25, 1 by 9, 11.11%, 11.11% here. Therefore, you need not calculate the rest of the things. You can conclude that option B is the answer. Now you tell me, lot of time is saved, I am right? So you need to keep your presence of mind while you are solving the question. You must keep your presence of mind so that it is very easy for you to solve. Okay. Now for our practice, we will solve the other things also. What is asking? Sideband power and total power. Just calculate sideband power. Sideband power is PC into mu square by 2. In part 1, I explained this derivation. I derived it, everything I derived. Okay. Please go through that. If you have not gone through part 1, please go through that. PC is the carrier power. Carrier power, you got it as 0.5 watt. 0.5 mu is 0.5 whole square, 1 by 4 by 2, 1 by 8. 1 by 2 into 1 by 8, 1 by 16, 0.0625 watt. 0.0625 watt, got it. Now what is total power? Total power is carrier power plus sideband power. 0.5 plus 0.0625, 0.5625, got it, done. Therefore option B is the answer. Clear? That's the concept. Next question. In an AM system, already we have derived in part 2. In part 2, I derived these equations, okay? Please go through them. I already derived these equations. So, in an AM system, with AC is equal to 10 volt, mu is equal to 0.707 for sinusoidal, triangular and rectangular inputs. Mu is 0.707. Find total radiated power. PT, total radiated power. What's the concept? Already I had explained you. Those who had missed the previous classes, just listen here once. Total power formula, PT is equal to PC into 1 plus Ka square P. Is a formula, generalized formula for total power, where P is message signal power. Where P is message signal power. If the message signal is sinusoid, then power P is A RMS square. For sinusoidal signal, A RMS is AM by root 2. Therefore, it is AM by root 2 whole square. Message signal power is AM square by 2. Substituting AM square by 2. Total power is PT is equal to PC into 1 plus Ka square AM square by 2. You know Ka into AM is mu, Ka square into AM square is mu square. Therefore, PT is equal to general formula PC into 1 plus mu square by 2 for sinusoidal input. If you do it for triangular input, power P is equal to A RMS square. For triangular input, A RMS is AM by root 3. Therefore, message signal power is AM square by 3. Substituting, total power PT is equal to PC into 1 plus Ka square AM square by 3. Therefore, total power PT is equal to PC into 1 plus mu square by 3. Similarly, if you consider rectangular input, P is A RMS square. For rectangular input, A RMS is AM. Therefore, power is AM square. Message signal power is AM square. Substituting PT is equal to PC into 1 plus Ka square AM square. Therefore, PT is equal to PC into 1 plus mu square. This is for rectangular input. This is the concept. Already I had explained in part 2. If you had missed out the part 2 concept, please go through it. In detail, I explained about this very clearly. Now, see the input, sinusoidal input. PT is equal to PC into 1 plus mu square by 2. 0.707 is 1 by root 2. PC is the carrier power. PC is the carrier power. Okay. So, carrier power is, first calculate carrier power. Okay. PC carrier power is AC square by 2R. What is AC value given? 10 volt. This is 100 by 2. What is R value given? Nothing. That's 1. So carrier power is 100 by 2, 50 watt. Now substituting PT is equal to 50 into 1 plus mu is 1 by root 2, mu square 1 by 2 by 2, 1 by 4. 50 plus 12.5, total power is 62.5 watt. Total power is 62.5 watt. This is for sinusoidal input. Next, for triangular input, it is 50 into 1 plus mu square by 3. That is 50 into 1 plus mu square 1 by 2 by 3, 1 by 6. This is for triangular input. For rectangular input, PT is equal to PC into 1 plus mu square. Mu square is 1 by 2. 50 plus 25, total power is 75 watt. 62.5 watt and 75 watt. If you see the options, 62.5 watt, A, C, D. 75, only A and D. So, no chance for C. Answer must be between A and D. Now, if you see the middle one, it is 49.33 here. 49.33. 49.33, which is less than 50 watt carrier power. But total power must be greater than this. So, need not calculate. Need not calculate this also. If you calculate, you get this as 58.33 watt, but you need not calculate. Because here you got 49.3, which is wrong. So automatically, without calculation, you can say it must be 58.3. Therefore, option D is the answer. Got it? Therefore, option D is the answer. Next. What is asking? In an AM system, next question. In an AM system, when mu is equal to 1 by root 2, modulation efficiency for triangular, sinusoidal and rectangular inputs are. Now I want modulation efficiency. What is the formula? Modulation efficiency formula already we have derived. Am I right? What is the formula? For eta is mu square by 2 plus mu square. For sinusoidal input, eta is mu square by 3 plus mu square. For triangular input, already in part 2 I derived. Please go through. Please go through. I derived this already very clearly in part 2. Please go through part 2. Therefore, you will understand this derivation. I don't want to derive it again. Already I derived in part 2. Okay. Eta for rectangular mu square by 1 plus mu square. Mu is given as 1 by root 2. First option is for triangular input. Triangular means this one. Mu square 1 by root 2 whole square 1 by 2. 0.5 by 3.5. 1 by 7. First answer is 1 by 7. You should be very careful in this order, because by default what happens is, due to practice, first you will solve for sinusoidal, but in the question it is not given sinusoidal, so your answer may go wrong. Okay, so always look at the order that is given in the exam. First is given as triangular, 1 by 7. Only one option is having 1 by 7, therefore option B is the answer, elimination method. Second is sinusoidal, mu square 0.5 by 2.5. 1 by 5. Third is rectangular, 0.5 by 1.5, 1 by 3, 1 by 7, 1 by 5, 1 by 3, 1 by 7, 1 by 5, 1 by 3. Option B is the answer. Got it? What is important here? For this derivation, go for part 2. You will have these derivations, how I derived this, everything. Then you should see this order very carefully. Okay? Next question. Beautiful question. This is also very beautiful question. Wonderful question this is. Just note down the question and pause the video to find the answer. Okay. Now what is given? In an AM system, when mu is changed from minimum to maximum, mu is changed from minimum means 0 to maximum 1. At maximum means at 1. For sinusoidal inputs, the value of eta is, for sinusoidal input, what is eta value? Mu square by 2 plus mu square. At maximum 1 by 3, 33.33%. That's it. Maximum sideband efficiency for AM 33.33%, done. Now, if mu is decreased to 1 by root 2, 0.707, From 1, it is decreased to 1 by root 2, 0.707. The value of eta is, do the formula again. Eta is mu square by 2 plus mu square. Mu square, 1 by root 2 whole square, 1 by 2, 0.5. 0.5 by 2.5, 1 by 5, 20%. 1 by 5, it is 20%. What is the percentage change in eta? From 33.33, it became 20. Percentage change is 13.33%. See the options. 33.33, B and D. 20, 20, only B. 13.33, only B. Already we know answer is B. But I just loved this last question, fourth one. I just love this question. What is there here? When mu is 1 by root 2, now when mu is 1 by root 2, the input is changed to dash to achieve same eta as in 1. What is 1? Eta 33.33%. If I want to achieve same 33.33%, the input which is sinusoidal should be changed to what? For example, if you are taking rectangular input, eta mu square by 1 plus mu square. Mu is 1 by root 2 whole square, 1 by 2, 0.5 by 1.5, 33.33%, done. You can achieve the same 33.33% when the sinusoidal input is changed to rectangular input. This concept is very, very important. Option B is the answer. We'll go for one last question for this particular session. Concept through question for analog communications. Question number 50. In next part 4, we'll start from 51. Okay. Now, in an AM system, antenna current is 10 amp, means carrier current is 10 amp. Before modulation is saying, and 12 amp after modulation. After modulation means total current. Is asking determine mu and determine eta. Already in part 2 I had given formula for this. Okay. So what is the formula? We have derived this formula. IT is equal to IC into under root of 1 plus mu square by 2. IT is 12 amp. IC is 10 amp into under root of 1 plus mu square by 2. Implies 1.2 is equal to under root of 1 plus mu square by 2. 1.44 is equal to 1 plus mu square by 2. Implies mu square by 2 is 0.44. Mu square is 0.88. Mu is under root of 0.88. Mu is 0.938. 0.938. Either C or D must be your answer. Now, once you know mu square or mu value, calculate eta. What is eta? Very simple, no? Eta is mu square by 2 plus mu square. What is mu square? 0.88. 0.88 by 2.88. Calculate, please, everyone calculate. You get answer. If you multiply by 100, you get 30.5%. You get 30.5%. So what's your answer, dear? Option C is your answer. Option C is your answer. This completes the last question for this particular part 3. Concept through questions, analog communications. In part 4, we'll continue from question number 51. I am GC Reddy. I have 12 plus years of teaching experience in teaching, guiding and mentoring GATE and ESC aspirants. I had mentored over 1 lakh students in my entire career. Subjects of expertise: EMFT, communications and advanced communications. And also we have started full length comprehensive series on advanced communications on Unacademy app. Please download the app so that you can access the full length comprehensive course on very rare subject, advanced communications. You can download it by using the code GCR10. All free initiatives like live classes, like the free classes, combats, quiz, everything you can open by using my code GCR10. And the same code can be used to avail 10% off on the paid subscription like Plus subscription. Unacademy provides two kinds of subscription here, like Plus subscription and Iconic subscription. I recommend, if you are a serious aspirant, I recommend you to consider a Plus subscription or an Iconic subscription. You may get it out what I get in Plus and Iconic. In a Plus subscription, you got to have the face time of legendary faculties in the form of live classes, crash courses, weekly test, doubt solving sessions. For every 3 live classes, you will have 1 doubt solving session. Will be explained in both Hindi and English, and also you will have the rank improvement batches. All this under Plus subscription. In Iconic subscription, you get all the facilities of the Plus subscription, and also you got to have a personal coach for one-on-one guidance, customized study planner, because we all believe that every student needs a customized study planner. A simple study planner will not go good with all the students. Every student preparation technology or preparation methods are different. Therefore, we need, basing on his SWOT analysis, we need a customized study planner that will be provided in the Iconic subscription. Along with that, you have dedicated doubt clearing instructor to clear your doubts then and there. And also, you have customized or special notes or practice sets in the form of preparatory study material. And also, we have study booster sessions in the form of regular workshops. And also, we have personalized test analysis. Writing test is a very important thing, but not only writing test, but also doing the analysis is very important. That will be done in Iconic subscription. So let us go for a Plus subscription on Iconic subscription as soon as possible, because serious preparation is required to crack exams like GATE. This Plus subscription will be available for you in 12 month, 18 month and 24 month. Will be available for 12 month, 18 month and 24 month with a price value of 29,205, 37,170 and 42,480. The best option is you can take no cost CMI. Once you consider no cost CMI is very simple. The total amount will be divided by number of months without any extra cost. For example, you are taking a Plus subscription for 12 months. You can avail the Plus subscription by paying 2,434 per month, provided you use the code GCR10. After applying this code, you will get this subscription for this price. Similarly, for 18 month and 24 month. And you know, in Iconic subscription, you have extra value added services. The price will be little higher side. These are all reduced prices actually. For 12 month, 18 month and 24 month, you can take this subscription for the price value of 45,225, 58,050 and 66,600. Here also you can use the low cost CMI. Here also you can use the code GCR10 to avail extra 10% off. And the very exciting thing is, before this price get hiked, Unacademy is planning to hike the prices. So before it gets hiked, anyways you are a serious learner, so you can take the subscription so that you can crack the exam very easily. You can also use the educator code GCR10 so that you can avail extra 10% off. This is what we have started. 1 week is done. October 3rd class is done. October 3rd Unacademy Combat is done. There is Unacademy Combat is the largest weekly competition for GATE, conducted every Sunday at 11 AM by Unacademy. Why Unacademy Combat is very important is Unacademy Combat is the only combat or the only quiz competition where you will have 60 minutes of time, 20 questions designed by topmost educators. Now you can show your mettle, you can prove your mettle, you can test your mettle by going through these questions. And once you perform well in this, there are many options here. Once you perform well in this, the toppers of this combat will get full 100% reimbursement or full 100% scholarship. I can say in this way, full 100% scholarship. That means you get the subscription for free. And if you are doing well, you get very huge discounts like 75%, 50%, 25% basing on your scoring. If you are not affordable to pay, then you can go for this combat. And if you are affordable to pay also, you can go for this to test your knowledge. So that's a very important thing. You can compete with the best of the best. And everything will be online. Everything, the leaderboard will be live. so that you will understand where you stand in all over India. And once after that, you will also get a beautiful video solutions of all these questions, so that you can identify where you went wrong. For some questions you will go wrong, then you can also identify. Not that any simple people will do this. India's topmost educator will give you the detailed video solutions for this. Okay. Unacademy has recently introduced Ask a Doubt feature in his app. Please download the app if you have not done so. There are so many advantages if you download the app. Once you download the app, you can see Ask a Doubt feature. Through Ask a Doubt feature, you can ask unlimited number of doubts and get them solved, all of them at a given on a given platform. That means what? You need not wander here and there to clear your doubts. You can clear all your doubts at a single platform by using the option Ask a Doubt. Very important feature, very nice feature. I had also tested it. It's very good feature, dear. You also, please, as a serious learner, I recommend you to use this feature so that your doubts will be cleared then and there. This is what you get by using Iconic subscription. By using an Iconic subscription, you get the unique feature. You'll get the unique feature of 1:1 mentoring. No other online platform will give you this 1:1 mentoring. It's a very beautiful thing that you get a 1:1 mentoring. It improves your chances to crack the exam very easily. But it is only available with Iconic subscription. Basing on your necessity, you try to select a Plus subscription or an Iconic subscription. In either the cases, you can use my code GCR10 to avail extra 10% off. These are the new batches which are recently started. Arrow1 GATE and ESC 2023 for electrical. Arrow1 GATE and ESC 2023 for ECE. You can see India's topmost faculties are here in these batches. This is where GATE 2023 for electrical. You can see all the top faculties are here, including the God of Machines, KM Rao sir. Everyone are here to explain the concepts for you in a better way. And when you learn from India's topmost educator, the chances that you fail or the chances that you will not succeed is very, very less, until and unless you don't have any any work from your side. If you give a small push-up from your side, these educators are capable for you, capable to push you to top rank. These are where GATE 2023 for ECE. This is where you can follow me. This is where you can follow me on Unacademy app. You can use this link. If you have not downloaded the app, please download it very soon. Immediately you download the app and follow here. And here we are dealing with advanced communications. We are dealing with advanced communication subject here. Full comprehensive course. Just catch me up on the app to enjoy the full comprehensive course on advanced communications. This is our Telegram channel for the entire GATE Conqueror channel, led by the legendary KM Rao sir. You can access all the GATE Conqueror faculty through this Telegram link. All the GATE Conqueror faculty, myself, KM Rao sir, your favorite Satish sir, Math Genius Hari sir, you can access all of them at a single platform, including the Math Genius Hari sir. So you can access everyone at a single platform. This is our Telegram link. So please take a screenshot and share the link among the maximum, so that you will get the access of this top faculty on a single platform. Thank you all, dear. Before we conclude, I request everyone to like, share and subscribe the channel. If you are new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel, and please like the session and also share the session, so that this conceptual series will reach to the maximum. Thank you all and all the best.